This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, good. Mhm.
Yeah, and here's the code. So yeah. I'm just like going in order of how they have it,
Okay,
but yeah, right. I was still working on it before the meeting, but yeah.
fine. Yeah, yeah. I
So
mean, what
some
is the
questions.
questions that you have? Mm,
Yeah. I would have to go back here.
mm.
So you talked about this before, but the colon before thing,
Yes,
um,
yes, yes.
that one is there. So I think it was around here. Yeah, before. So I need
Mm-hmm.
help with that. And then
Okay,
um,
okay,
another thing is, what's this at media?
okay, okay. I'll explain. Yeah.
And then
Okay. So let me. Can you put somewhere a notepad or somewhere like what are the questions that you have so that we'll go one by one, right?
uh, yeah, I'll write it down in the chat.
At least, at least do one thing, just create open a notepad and put these 2 points, like one is that before, after, and second one is media, so that we won't forget it, right?
Should I just put it in the chat?
Yeah, fine.
Okay.
You can.
Yeah, I'll put the link to the website too. Um, so
Okay, 1 second.
mhm.
Mm, okay, I mean, okay, fine. Actually, what I asked you to write, one is that, before and after, and what is the second one is media, right?
Yeah, I put
Okay,
all my questions in the chat.
okay. Media, form, input. Okay, fine. Hmm. Any other question? Okay, these
No,
are
those
the
were.
like no, okay, these are the general things, right? If you see something like okay, this is something new for me. Okay,
Mhm.
I'll ask Sai tomorrow session. Okay, that in order to get the result of all of them, you can note the questions. But what I really want to know is while you are doing the code, while you are building the layout based on the reference, do you feel like, okay, I stuck here and I'm not getting how to build this? Is there any scenario?
Oh no, I was able to understand
Great,
the layout. Yeah.
great then. Yeah, yeah. Then my job is easy. Okay, as
Yeah.
long as
It's just like I
you are
don't know the
comfortable with that.
I just
Hmm.
don't know the technical stuff behind these things. And then another
Yeah,
thing,
but, hmm.
um, like Arial label, like, is that all necessary? Because I don't see a difference. Like,
Ariel. Yeah, but I mean, I'm not sure like how it is really important or not. But even if I use them anywhere, then I'll explain. Otherwise, still, yeah, you can enter that whatever the point that you have.
mm-hmm.
Even we can find it in Google, like what is the exact usage of it. Because the
Okay.
point is, it's like there is a like lot of things which comes in recent times, or maybe few of them I'm not going to explain that because those are not really necessary in real time. Okay, even I mean
Yeah.
I was also not using them, but still, if you feel that you don't understand something new and you can't figure it out the answer in the internet, you can put all of
Mm-hmm.
them. Maybe I can also learn, right? So I mean, along with you.
Yeah.
If something is
Yeah.
new, I mean, I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm okay to learn new things. I always prefer to learn something new which I never implemented in my experience. Yeah, that is fine.
Mm.
Okay, and
Yeah.
let me share a screen from my
Mm-hmm.
side. Yeah.
But when you said like usually you just copy and paste the CSS, I sort of went
Mm-hmm.
like that, and it was much easier than I expected.
No, so, okay. What is easy to copy and paste? I mean, you feel comfortable with it,
Like,
or that is what you were trying to say?
yeah, I'm comfortable. Like, I can see
Uh,
which ones are the properties that need to be taken.
okay. Yeah, I mean, I think if you remember my statement, I told you many times that as long as you feel comfortable with that, especially with that inspect element developer tools, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you are adding the properties and when you are copying them and when you are putting into again into your document, if you when you are trying to use that same kind of steps every time, so you will get a confidence. But
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
bottom line of the procedure, what I'm going to tell is, whatever the properties that you are copying, okay, you should know it.
Mm-hmm.
What is the
Mm.
purpose that the property is being used? It is not
Yeah.
something that I'm copying blindly.
Yeah.
Right. So let us say there are
Mm-hmm.
like a 10 properties. All the 10 properties, at least you should be aware of them.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So as long
Yeah.
as you aware of them, then you can copy the properties from other websites as well. There is no okay. Let me share my screen. Yeah. Okay. Right. This is what the point. Right. So
Mm.
now what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say here is, let us say uh, okay, so it is not something you no need to write everything. You can copy all of them in a certain way. You can
Mm-hmm.
copy and you can paste into in your website. There is no
Yeah.
crime on it because there is no kind of like a copyright issue also, because the properties are not belongs to anybody,
Mm-hmm.
right? The properties are not belongs to anybody. At the same time, the values are also not belongs to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, maybe when you will get a copyright issue in general, when you take their website as it is, along with their brand, I
Mm.
mean brand in the sense their logo and their maybe some of few of them like make icons, okay, especially the icons according to their brand or their color or their kind of business. When you really grab those specific icons, specific branding things, specific images, that is going to be a copyright issue.
Mm.
Okay, and as long as you copy all of them, then it is not an issue. So simply, but what my point is, you should know that what is the meaning of position relative when we are going to use. If you are not aware of it, no, then it is going to be difficult because we are seeing just only these properties here, but we don't know like what is the intention behind this writing these properties. Maybe some of
Mm.
them are not really required here. If you see this, if I make position absolute, okay, there is a difference here. If I make the top zero, there is a difference here. And if you make a bottom auto, and there is no difference here. So I
Mm.
can remove the bottom auto. And if I make width auto, right, there is a difference, clear difference.
Yeah.
Overflow
But
visible.
there's probably a
Hmm?
reason they have it, right?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So definitely a reason, but we should aware of that. And some of the scenario, whatever the properties that they have written here, we may modify that. Instead of auto, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make them 100% here. Now
Mm.
100% and auto both looks like the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So now
Yeah.
100% it is. Now I'm changing to auto. There is no difference, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, when you get a confidence, you can do all this kind of what we call that, modify the properties and all.
Okay.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Any question?
No.
Okay, so let's first talk this media, which is very important thing. Okay,
Mm.
media is nothing but a communication, we can say that, in general words, right? A
Right.
communication system. But how a media keyword, okay, generally we used to call them as a keywords. Keywords in the sense that regular media or something like SaaS, or these are the technical related keywords or technical terminology words, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in general scenario, day-to-day life, we know what is media. So media is a like a communication system where we can communicate with others, okay, on one bridge, on one channel or whatever it is. So the end of the day, media is a communication. So when it comes to CSS, what exactly media it is? Even though in CSS also, media is also like a communication system only. But how
Mm-hmm.
we are really using it, okay, when we talk about the responsive web design, RWD, without media, right, we are not we are incapable to build the responsive website. Okay, so in
Mm-hmm.
simple terms, how you can make that normal website as a responsive website. Okay, how you gonna make normal website as a responsive website? So the answer is
Mm.
very simple. So the first rule, okay, there is a few rules. Okay, now we can find the same thing in Google. How to make normal website to responsive. Okay, maybe they will give some options to it. Okay, so now we can see how to create a responsive website, or yeah, how to convert an existing website to responsive. Maybe this is the correct thing. Let us click this link and we'll see like what are the points that they have mentioned here.
Mm.
Okay, how to convert non-responsive. You know what is meant by non-responsive and responsive, right? So
Yes.
where the responsive website will going to fit all the devices, whatever the device that we are accessing, where
Mm-hmm.
non-responsive will not adjust to that device. Okay.
Yeah.
So the first point that identify possible breakpoints and framework. This is the first point which is very, very important in order to make that non-responsive to responsive. Whenever you go with this, right, identify possible breakpoints and framework. Somewhere or other around it, definitely they're going to touch that device or media or something. You have to understand that all devices have different frameworks. To make your set responsive, you must create a unique design for each device currently popular among your user target audience. Breakpoints will help you make plans for all the frameworks of the devices. Okay. You can find this by looking at your unresponsive website and determining that exact place to divide your site without damaging the design. Identifying the breakpoints is important. So make sure you take your time to plan how your changes will help your website become a responsive to mobile devices. Now we understand one point here is that they are talking something related to breakpoints,
Yeah.
right? So
Mm-hmm.
now let us find that this is how I usually when I don't know something which is related to our subject. So this is how we have to deep dive into. Now after reading all these two paragraphs that I understood there is some one keyword or terminology they use that breakpoints.
Yeah.
Now let us find that what is the breakpoints. What is the breakpoints in CSS? CSS breakpoints are points where the website content responds to according to the device width. So now we understand one thing. What is meant by
Mm.
breakpoint is device width,
Yeah.
right? What is the meaning
Mm-hmm.
of the breakpoint? Breakpoint is the device width, allowing you to show the best possible layout to the user. CSS breakpoints are also called media query breakpoints. Now you
Oh.
understand that where that media word came here, right?
Yeah.
Breakpoints as they are used with media query. So whenever we see this at the rate media, when we saw that it is a only media, it's not only media because we have a prefix here. What is meant by prefix is, which we are going to add that before a word or before image or anything is called prefix.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like usually in India, like if you ask like a full name, that we are going to tell along with our surname, first surname first, then
Yeah.
then after our name, right? So that then
Yeah.
in such a case, surname is gonna be a prefix. But in
Mm.
US, I think it is bit reverse, right? If I'm not wrong. So usually
For
they won't uh, tell in that case, right?
yeah, we don't. It's just first name, last name, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
middle first,
Okay.
middle, last.
Yeah. So yeah. So when you see this, there is a prefix called at the rate. When we see media along with that at the rate prefix, then it become media query.
I've heard that word
This is a
before.
very
Query.
important. Yeah, this is a very important topic. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you should learn it. Okay. You just have to focus on it.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay.
And probably our session will continue next. Usually we will finish in 1 hour, right? Today
Yeah.
probably I'll take an half extra if you're okay with it.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's fine because day after tomorrow I have some other work on 11th.
Mm.
I may or may not be able to take the class, but I know I can cover that tomorrow, today and tomorrow. That 1 hour.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So now, so this is gonna be lengthy, so that try to focus on it, and wherever you feel like you don't understand, you can stop me.
Okay.
Don't wait until that like that's not, do you have any questions or not? Okay, you can stop
Okay.
me. Okay, fine. So now at the rate media. So when we have a at the rate prefix before this media, okay, so we call this as a media query. So what exactly that media query does? So what is the purpose and what is the usage? So very simple. Whenever we see this point, right? See, these breakpoints are where the website responds according to the device width. So now we understand that breakpoint is the device width. So how many devices we have? So let us put that point first. How many devices that we have? We have like a laptops, we have a
Tablet.
desktops,
Oh,
we have a mobiles, we have a tabs and all. Right?
yeah.
Commonly, we are going to divide them in a four devices. Now, we may have a lot of devices and all we can call, but in general, one is the mobile, second one is the tab, third one is that usually that that what we call that laptop screen, and when we have a like a large monitors and all, we can call it as the desktop.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, three to four that common devices that we are going to use. And when it comes to mobile, okay, when it comes to mobile, there is a like a two different views that we have. One is that portrait, and second one is that landscape.
Mm.
Okay, now I hope you aware of that what is meant by portrait and landscape. If you are
Wait.
not
Yeah.
aware, then let me tell you.
No, I'm aware.
You know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in mobile only we will have that in a mobile and maybe in a tab as well. We have a, like a portrait and landscape. But when it comes to desktop or laptop screens, right? So we do not
Yeah.
have that, right? Because we usually don't do that, like portrait
Yeah.
and landscape, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
So first of all, we have to determine that what exactly width of those devices. Yes, you heard
Mm.
right. So we have to determine it, and whenever we determine them, so those are the standard values only. Because if you see like an iPhone 13 or 14 screen, okay, you may have that an iPhone or you may have a like Android phone, whatever it is. Usually, if you
Mhm.
see that there's maximum 10 pixels of difference only, you will get it. So right now
Yeah.
I'm using an iPhone 14. Earlier I was using it on iPhone 12. I don't see much difference in the screens when I'm putting that portrait mode,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
Hardly we may get like 5 pixels up. When it comes to 5 pixels, it is very less.
Yeah.
Okay. So in such a case, we have to determine in a such a way like what is the dimension. If you see this image, like you can see like a 480 pixels. When you were mobile on portrait mode, the width of the device, even your case is more than width than your mobile, that don't consider. Okay, so the width
Mm.
we have to determine based on the actual screen width, because the content and all will be fit into that in our device width only, right? It won't come out of that, right? Whatever
Mm-hmm.
the screen that we have or whatever the mobile it is. So first of all, we have to determine the width of the screen, the internal screen mobile, right? Whatever you are seeing that. So
Yeah.
we have to keep all of them in our website. Like, okay, what is the device of the mobile? Okay, 480 pixels width, and what is the uh, tab? Let us say that an iPad and all. What is the now width of it? 768 pixels. When you make that, when you change that the orientation from portrait to landscape, it becomes like a 1024 pixels. When you talk
Mm.
about that laptop screens, hardly 1200 pixels. When you talk about the large screens, it is a more than 1200 pixels. So these are the device width we have to keep in our mind, and those will be standard. Whatever the website it is, those will be standard only.
Mm.
And uh, okay, maybe it is the best thing that to understand this. Let us see. Maybe if you have some screen, yeah,
I actually
maybe we
went
can.
to the,
Sorry.
yeah, I remember.
Yeah, yeah.
I went to when I was looking at the website, I went to the sources and then I saw that it was coded like that.
Yeah, okay, fine. So if you see that, these are the common standard device widths that we are going to use, like, 1920, 360. When we see that, into between, right? So first one is width and second one is height.
Mm.
360 so these are all pixels only, by the way. Okay, these are the very common things that we are going to use. Okay, this is the mobile breakpoint. Actually, I'm looking for some image. If it, yeah, open copy image address. What if open this as a big image? Yeah, I think it is visible, right, for you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. See, what is the dimension of iPhone X? We used to call this as a 10, I guess, right? So yeah, what is the
Yeah.
dimension of it, and what is the Galaxy Note? What is the 8 iPhone 8? And what is the iPad Mini, iPad Pro, Kindle, and general now Windows, and that large Mac desktop. These are
Mm-hmm.
all the device widths. Let us say if you are targeting this iPhone SE, okay. So how you need to write that, right? First of all, you have to write a media query. Somewhere they gave any reference for it. No. Okay. So how you gonna write it? At the rate media first.
Mm.
Then you have to provide what is the minimum width of the device. Okay. So
Mm.
width in the sense whatever the pixels that you have, right? You have to take from here only. So
Okay.
you have to define that in the code. How you going to define here is the example. At the rate media type, and you can ignore this media type and all, you can ignore it. Okay, and
Mm.
that, and also you can ignore it. So this is the condition. Condition in the sense, what is the minimum width or maximum width? So these are the two properties we have: minimum width and maximum width. Apart from the property that we have width. Okay,
Okay.
so width is different and minimum width is different and maximum width is different. So that we can discuss in tomorrow's session what is meant by minimum width and what is meant by maximum width. First, let us focus
Mm.
on the media queries. Okay,
Okay.
so we have to define it. How I'm going to define it? Let us say now, first, how I need to write it: at the rate media, and I'm going to write max 480 pixels and min, sorry, min width 320 pixels and max width 480 pixels. What is meaning of this? Okay, so I am considering whatever I am going to write between this. How you used to write the CSS properties in with the these curly braces in the same way. Whatever you are writing in between, so you are targeting exactly this device. So okay, in between we need and also. I forgot that.
Mm.
Okay, so which device you are targeting? You are targeting a mobile device because the minimum width is 320 pixels and maximum width is 480 pixels. Whatever you are writing, the CSS property here, that only works when the device width is 320 to 480 pixels. I mean to say between these two widths.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'll give you an example of it. Let us say, so background body, I'm going to write background red. Okay. When I'm not writing any media, so in general, it will be right. It will be for all the devices because I didn't mention any breakpoint here. I didn't mention any media query here. When there is no media query and there is no specific breakpoint and all, so it will background color red will come for all the devices. That is a by default. Even if you open the website in mobile, laptop, or large screen or tab, whatever it is. So the background color will be red only. But
Mm.
but in the same way, if you make again body here, background is green. Now how it is going to be work as per this media query and breakpoints when you check your website in the mobile device. So then what is the width of the device? Definitely somewhere your mobile width gonna be between this 320 pixels to 480 pixels only, max to max,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you see your mobile screen, you can find out what is the width of the screen. Somewhere your mobile screen, let's assume that your mobile screen is, I mean, your device width is 400 pixels. Let's assume that.
Mm.
So now 400 is between 320 and 480 only, right?
Yeah.
Now, when you really open the website in your mobile, you won't get background color as a red. You will get a background color as a green.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
when you
So
see immediately the same website, if you see in your desktop, you will get a red color.
it automatically knows the pixel width.
Yes. So
Okay.
yes. So because we are mentioning the breakpoints here, when you open the mobile screen, the same
Mm-hmm.
in the same how you are going to open the Google Chrome in the same way you are also going to use the same browser or maybe other browser in your mobile also.
Mm.
So in that case, we are telling to that browser that so whatever the property I'm going to write, it can be like a body element or it can be any class also. Let us say you have written some class like Darshana. You have some properties here, whatever the properties you are written. Now you want to override that Darshana class properties here, so that just copy this and write here. You can override whatever. Let us say that you can change that font size and all. Let us say, I mean, instead of name, and let me take in a heading here. Heading. Now, when it comes to font size is 25 pixels because you are going to access this in a desktop also. So that definitely 25 pixels will be a minimum size of the font, right?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
So that user can able to see and they can consider this as a heading. But if you put a no until unless if you are not mentioning anything related to the heading between these media queries, even though if you log in the mobile also, the heading will become a 25 pixels only. Then now imagine when you open when you open the website in your mobile, how 25 pixels is bigger in 400 width of the screen. You are able to see only that heading only. So you won't see
Yeah.
that in other content because it looks awkward to you. Like, I mean, the heading should be heading, but not that much of font size, right?
Yeah.
You're getting my point?
Yeah, I have a question. Does
Yes.
this only work for like does it work for elements and classes and
Everything,
okay.
everything. So how you are going to write outside of the media queries, or how you written so far the classes and the properties, everything you can write in the media queries also. There is no not even not percent difference. Everything is same. The only thing difference is you are writing them in some sort of media queries. Nothing else. Other than that, everything is same.
So does the element or class go
Everything. That's what
inside
I'm
the
saying. No,
method?
all the selectors, not element selector, class selector, adjacent, and all everything.
Okay.
Let us
It
say
goes
if you are
inside.
handling something, I'll tell you. I know maybe now after this example you'll get a clarity for you. Okay. So you will space li. In the same way, you have given 25 pixels in the desktop. Now, if you copy entire thing, make it here because the 25 pixels will become a huge in the mobile device. You are going to change as a 15 pixels.
Mm,
Now, when you open the website in your mobile, you will see in the mobile as a 15 pixels of font, which is suitable and fine for the mobile device. But if you put the same 15 pixels in the desktop, definitely it is going to be like less size, right?
yeah.
So in the desktop we need 25, and when it comes to mobile we need 15. Okay, now the point is, I mean, first, I hope you understand. I mean, I gave that answer to your question. You can write anything here. There is no kind of like, no, we need to use only classes or IDs or element selector or adjacent selector or combinator selector, whatever it is. Everything, how you
Mm,
are writing outside of the media queries also in the same way you're going to write in the media queries as well. The only difference is if you need a modification, then only you can write it. Otherwise, if you put something like this, again 25 pixels also here and there, then there is no point to write,
yeah.
because as long as you are not addressing them, okay, in the mobile device, it will be like 25 pixels only. Once you address them, the same selector, ULLIA, and make sure whenever you want to modify anything, definitely whatever the selector or whatever the structure that you use outside of the media query, the same thing only you have to use here also. Or at least
Mm,
you have to write in a such a way this select end of the day. See, if you see this, we are targeting the anchor tag here, right?
mm-hmm.
Which is there in the li, which is there in the ul, right?
Okay. Another yeah. Another question is
Mm-hmm.
so there's one at media. Can you have multiple at
Mm-hmm.
medias, or is it better to have just one and then have
Yes,
everything under that?
yes, I'm coming to that point. I'm coming to that point. Okay, okay. Now this is, let's assume that this is the mobile device.
Mm,
Okay, now in the desktop you see that font size is a 25 pixels here. Okay, let me remove this. It become uh, now it is the element selector only. Okay,
mm,
now in the desktop it is a 25 pixels, and when you see that mobile you are expecting that 15 pixels. But the point is, when you really want to see in the tab, if you are giving 15 pixels it become very small, but if you are making 25 pixels it became a big one, larger one. Somewhere you have to give, I mean, you want to give in between the values between 15 and 25. So what is the middle point? That we have a 20, right?
mm-hmm.
Now just copy entire thing and paste it and remove this body because we don't need that. In media, what I'm going to address again, the tab device. So that is the very common thing, 768 pixels, and max width is 10,024 pixels. In such a case, I'm going to change as a 20 pixels.
Mm,
You understand?
yeah.
So now this become tab breakpoint or tab media query. So minimum in the sense the starting point, maximum is the ending point.
Okay.
Okay, so now if you see, what is the common thing here?
Hmm?
What is the common thing here? What is the common point here?
They all have um background color, but they change when it gets smaller and font size
No, no,
changes.
no, no,
No?
no, no. So what is the common point here is there are two things here, two common points. One is we are using the same selector in outside of the media queries, in mobile device media queries, and in tab media queries. Because in this way only we're gonna achieve the actual response.
Mm.
Okay, so the point is you want to I mean you want to apply font size 25 pixels for an anchor tag, but when it comes to mobile device or tab device, if you remove this anchor tag, it won't work because in this devices you are targeting list item, but outside you are targeting anchor item, right?
Mm.
You're getting my point?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you want to decrease or increase the font size in different devices width. In such a case, selector should be same only, no?
Yeah.
If you make a font size 25 pixels to LI, then it doesn't make any sense because you are targeting anchor tag here in the desktop. In such a case, if you want to give like this, just remove the anchor tag here as well, so that it will be again same,
Mm.
right? And what is the
Yeah.
second common point? So we are actually updating same property. Font size here and font size here and font size here. And you
Mm.
may ask, like, do we really need to update the same property? No. If you want, you can add one more property. Let us say that you do not have any underline for the list item. Let's assume that. But there is a
Mm.
requirement comes in only mobile. I can see in the only mobile device. I want to see some underline.
Mm.
Okay, in such a case, you don't need to pay. So let us say example that is the requirement. You need that the client came and says to you like Darshana. So this is the text. Okay, I want to see underline in only in mobile device. Okay, there is a two
Mm-hmm.
ways. Okay, after making two of them, you only tell me what is the best way. Okay,
Okay.
so what client is looking for that? He uh, don't want underline in any of the device, only mobile device only.
Mm.
If you understanding the requirement itself, you can say to me like what is the best way. The first way is, what is the client requirement? Client says that I mean this is not just for media query purpose. Okay, in general case also this is a very important point, to optimize the code in a clever way, to
Mm.
write code in a better way. So the client requirement is, hey Darshana, I need a underline only in the mobile device. That is the one statement.
Mm.
Okay, now let me write the statement here. I need underline in mobile device. This is the statement number one. The statement number two, I don't need underline in desktop tab, but I need in only mobile device.
Wouldn't just targeting.
Understanding is the Yeah, understanding is the point here.
Mm.
Okay, this is not just for the media queries. Okay, how we are going to being as a IT employee, like the way understanding the requirement, understanding the statements really help us to write code in a better way, right?
Mm. Yeah.
So we can achieve two of them here. One is that I need underline in mobile device. So Now I need to find that it is where is the media query for a mobile. Now here it is. Now what I can do is text decoration underline.
Mm.
This is the one way to handle the requirement.
Mm.
The other way is I don't need underline in desktop tab, but I need only in mobile device. Text decoration, copy this property
And then none.
and put here and none and copy here and here also. Now you tell me what is the best way.
I mean, the first one
Okay,
looks
so
easier.
yeah, easier and majority of the cases that will work. But whenever you shift the device, when you are testing that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, very rarest cases, sometimes you have to give a forcible options that, but definitely that is going to be a rarest case. Forcible option in the sense writing that extra property for another other for other device as well. But in general case, this really works well.
Okay.
So understanding the statement and requirement too.
Mm.
Any question?
No.
You understand now what is at the rate media?
Yeah.
At the rate media is a media query. Okay, we can use for a response to make
The.
non-responsive to responsive. So we can add a
Mm-hmm.
breakpoints as well. So that breakpoints we can decide. We can determine that minimum width and maximum width. We have to give the device width, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes the media query structure always there is no rule. Always media query structure should be like this only, like minimum
Mm.
width and maximum width. Sometimes it will come like this. In such a case, what is going to happen? So the
It's
minimum width
good.
only we have given 768 pixels, but we didn't mention any maximum. So even though if you open your website in 1920 width of the monitor or device also, still you can see same properties because we didn't mention any maximum width here.
Yeah.
Okay. So how people usually write in a different way, and so the problem with this, there is no, strong rule that we have to use in the same format only. People will use it different devices and all. There is no, we do not have a like a specific. This is the only standard one because as long as devices has a different width and all and different styles, so we have to do compromise and we have to write in a different way.
Mm.
Okay, but I will suggest you like what is the standard media queries and all that we'll discuss, no issues. But this is the way that people gonna use, and min width is 1200 pixels. Now how it is going to work here, right?
Mm. It's gonna work the same as and.
Yeah, same as. So from minimum width 768 pixels, it will come like this. But we are adding that 1200 again minimum width. So from 768 to 1119 pixels of the width, it comes to this only.
Mm.
This is another way of writing it,
Okay.
right? So instead of
Yeah.
min, sometimes we may have only max also. So then you can consider from 0 to 768 pixels. This is the only thing.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is how you usually operate that media queries and all. Okay, I think
Gotcha.
the other website that where it is showing some of the options. Okay, add pinch to zoom functions. Okay, in general, if you observe that whenever you open a website in the mobile device, when you are trying to make zoom in, right? If it is allows you to zoom in, that is not exactly proper way of making responsive website. It should not zoom it because
Oh.
when you are really zooming that, no. because it is not adjusted to the device,
Mm-hmm.
right? When the website is adjusted to device, right, you can able to read all of them. What is the point to make that zoom in and all,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Focus on developing CSS style for a wide range of devices. I don't know what exactly they're talking, but yeah, develop the navigation and typography of a website. This is the most important. Develop the navigation. Usually, whenever you see the menu in the desktop device like this, usually very common thing that you can see the navigation like this. But when you open the same website into the mobile device,
It becomes
first of
a
all, yeah. So first of all, maybe no, I thought you may get this question like, is there a way that we can check the website how it is gonna look in the mobile device when you are working with that application? Because we cannot every time open the website in the mobile device, right? Until my website is not hosted anywhere. The code is in our local only. How can we
mm,
test that it is gonna be uh, uh, display in a mobile device like this, that assumptions don't work,
yeah.
right? So there is
Mm-hmm.
a option as we can check. Okay, the same website only we can check the same way how you are making the inspect element. Okay, we all know that this is for HTML thing and this is a CSS, and there are several options that we have, and we can discuss a few of them, not all of them, few of them. How much is really required for you? I'll cover them. But before elements, we have this arrow. This is the
Yeah.
actual element arrow. So once you select this, right, you can hover on whatever the element it is, so that based on the your hovering on the element, that actual element will select. But
Mm,
after this arrow, you have a device, toggle device toolbar. When you click on this, now you will get a different dimensions responsives here. Okay, and
mm-hmm.
definitely this entire developer tools window will be now some kind of stopper for you to check that how the website is looks in the mobile device. So what you can do, come to this place and there is a three dots icon here before the closing tab, and click on that, and the dock side you have a different options. Just select the last
Mm-hmm.
option. So
Mm-hmm.
this entire will move towards to right side of the browser. Now you can see that this becomes your mobile device with.
Mm,
Okay, and if you notice that all the menu navigation become part of here, right? You
yeah.
know,
But
we call these three dots under.
hamburger.
Yes, hamburger
Mm,
icon. Okay,
mm-hmm.
so when you click on this, now you can able to see now the content and everything, including this image, text, everything is adjusted here. You really no need to make zoom, right?
Yeah.
Yes, because it has a readability also.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
But
and
how
yeah,
did it
tell
switch
me.
from a regular navigation bar to hamburger? Is that in
Okay,
the code or is that
yeah, in the
also
code
like
itself, it won't, no, it won't automatically now converted by default. We
yeah, I
have to
know,
write
but
everything.
is it uh let me think about my question. Is it like with the ad media and then it tells to
No, no,
okay.
no, 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 because that is the Sigma rule that you have to keep in our mind, right? Media
Mm-hmm.
queries definitely require 110%, because let us say that now I'm going to make this and making this like this. Now you can see this entire thing, right? Let me inspect it. there is a UL and there is a div. Okay, now there is a UL, right? First, this entire UL should be hide when it comes to mobile device. Now automatically, right? When you are selecting, you can see media queries here, minimum width 768, right? You're seeing them,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now when I'm
Yeah.
making, I'm just selecting this UL, I'm just selecting this UL, and now I'm making this. Now when I'm going to make this, where is your UL here?
Mm,
We have a UL, right?
yeah.
But where exactly this UL is?
It's
It is there somewhere. Now let me click on this. Now you can see your UL here,
yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So how really we are making this, and when you click on this, so whenever we had some action, when I click on this, if you clearly observe this area, right? When you really just focus on this, when I'm clicking on this, something is changing here. So collapse. Okay, now I'll show you back again. Now what is the class name here? So by the way, you have a two classes here. So we can write n number of classes with along with the space. That is the first statement that I forgot to tell you. Okay. Now bar
Oh.
collapse is the different class. Collapse is the different class.
Mm.
So to summarize this, we can add n number of classes to a single element.
I actually saw that in the
Okay,
Society
fine.
6.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now if you see what is the class names that we have, navbar collapse, right? And now if
Mm-hmm.
I click on this, what is going to happen? There is a one more class being added that in. How that in was added when I click this button, when I click this hamburger one?
It's a separate class.
No, it is a separate class only. Fine, understand that. I understand that. But earlier it was not there. No, earlier we have a two classes only. Now we have a three classes. No,
Media, like
no
the
media. Okay, so the point is you can write a class in media, but you can't append that class to HTML element. No,
yeah,
you're getting my point. You can
yeah.
write the CSS class, but whenever you click on that, no, you cannot apply that. I mean, you cannot modify in the sense you cannot add a class to HTML element. You can write
Mm-hmm.
in how what are the properties that you can write for a in class you can write, but you can't add that. This is what that something that dynamically we can add the class.
Mm.
The
Would
other
it
day I
be
told you,
hidden?
right?
Would it be hidden?
Sorry.
Do you hide it
You're saying
until?
okay, I mean, I'm whether I'm hiding it or whether I'm, not hiding or showing. The point
Mm.
which you understand here is whenever I click on this hamburger, now I'm again clicking on this. Now, have you seen that
Mm.
in class here? You are not
No.
able to see the IN, but when I am clicking on this, no, now you are able to see it.
Mm.
How this is happening is the point you should understand here. In
Mm.
general, what is the maximum capability of the CSS? You can write a class, whether it is a media query, whether it is within the media query or outside of the media query. You can write a class, you can write a properties. That's the only strength or capability of CSS. But you cannot add a class directly to the HTML element automatically. But when you see the code, you won't have a IN.
Yeah.
For sure. If you want, you can check that navbar collapse, right? Just copy this and right click, view page source. Now you can check that. No, we do not have that collapse as well here. We have only see navbar collapse only in two
Mm.
places. We do not have a collapse also if you see the actual code. But
Yeah.
collapse is dynamically happening. Okay. And
Mm-hmm.
whenever I click on this, IN also happening. This is something I
Yeah.
told you. some dynamic classes may come into the picture, or some dynamic HTML content will come, some dynamic classes also will come based on the some click event. Okay, this will handle with JavaScript. So that
Oh,
is this is where that the combination that we have like in HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Now I hope you understand what exactly what exactly purpose of writing HTML code, writing CSS code, and writing JavaScript code.
oh, yeah. Now it clicks.
Okay, so it's a whole package. So you can make a div elements if you understand that HTML language. If you write a class names and you can write the properties and all, but you cannot add something in the live, right? Something in the sense running when this application is running in the browser. So we used to call this as a runtime. You cannot add a property or you cannot add the HTML element or modify the HTML element in the live time or runtime only having with HTML and CSS knowledge. For that,
Mm,
definitely we need something else.
yeah,
Okay. In such a
yeah.
case, we can, whenever I click on this, no, okay. So in such a case, I can add a click event on it. On what basis I can add? If you observe that I have a my navbar ID I have. So
Mm-hmm.
wherever the element has my navbar, I'm picking that and I'm going to add a click event here. When I'm adding a click event, I can handle dynamically. Okay, when click event happen, just add the IN class here.
Mm,
Okay, these kind of conditions also we can mention in the JavaScript. So
mm,
now it is a whole package.
got it.
If you understand the scenario.
Yeah. So
Okay.
JavaScript works with the actions of like bringing
Yeah,
in action.
that's what. Yeah. That actions, animations, and all we definitely need it. But the same point I'm telling, when you want to become a master in your technologies, you better focus on more HTML and CSS and just understand the concept of JavaScript. But JavaScript is not I mean a simple thing, or maybe we can use only this purpose. It's a huge topic.
Mm,
Okay, maybe we are just seeing in a small, very small percent of usage of JavaScript in this example.
if
But
I
in
get more
real time,
comfortable,
it is huge. Sorry.
if I get more comfortable with HTML and CSS, is it easier to
Mm-hmm.
transfer over to learn JavaScript like
No,
on
no,
my own?
both completely different. So, okay, now maybe now to answer your question, let me ask in a different way because you've been attended almost like 20 maybe 15 classes so far, if I'm not wrong, or maybe 15 to 20 is approximately, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or at least 10 to 20 classes you have been attended. Now I am going to ask you one question. Is it fine if I learn HTML language? Am I eligible to learn CSS? It really helps me to HTML languages really helps me to learn CSS. If I ask that question, what is your answer?
No.
The answer is no only. Okay, so the point is both. I mean, we are actually going to combine HTML, CSS, JavaScript combine, but there is not something a statement that I'm giving that okay, if you learn HTML you will easily learn JavaScript. That is 100% false statement. If you learn CSS you can learn JavaScript very easily. No, that is false statement. But what is the correct statement? If you know the JavaScript you can learn Angular, or if you know the JavaScript well you can learn React. If you know the
Mm,
JavaScript, you can learn Node.js because these are all related to that subject, JavaScript only.
mm,
Okay,
okay.
yeah, that is the difference. But the point is, I'm just changing the statement with slightly. If you know the HTML, you will get a eligibility to learn CSS. How the statement is,
Yeah, that makes sense.
right? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
At the same time, if you know the HTML and CSS, you will get a eligibility to learn JavaScript, but not easy for a JavaScript,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I mean, this is the difference that people will usually confuse that okay, I know HTML and CSS and I can learn JavaScript. Okay, but you get the eligibility to learn JavaScript, but it's not easy that, as you are well aware of that HTML and CSS, because that is a complete new subject.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, the difference between HTML and CSS as well, both. If you know only divs H1, do you think really you can learn all the properties of position relative, text shadow, box shadow, all this? No, right? You have to
Yeah.
practice and you have to learn it, right? There is no
Yeah.
extension of it. It's a completely separate subject only.
Yeah.
Now you're getting?
Yep.
Yeah. So this is the picture of that, that media queries and also we have to write a media queries. Okay. Now anyhow, like we are discussing that, all the points and all. Let me explain everything together so that you can take that information. Okay. Now, how it is really difficult or easy to make non-responsive to responsive. So that is the first question. And the
Mm.
second question is, what if responsive is not using, okay, I mean, response, there is no responsive website, and during that time, how people really verifies the website in mobile devices? This is the second
Mm.
question. Okay, now we have a responsive and all, we are talking that. But those days people doesn't have that responsive and all. Even though in that time as well, if people opens the opens that on a mobile, and if they open that so and so like an xyz.com website, that will fit to their mobile device only. How it was happened?
Uh.
Interesting thing, right?
Yeah.
Do you know the
I,
answer?
no, I don't know how.
Okay. So now you tell me, like, which question you want me to answer first, the first question or second question?
What was the second question again?
The first question is like, how it is difficult or easy to make non-responsive to responsive, and what are the options that we have? And the second question is that same, how people used to handle that responsive website when there is no responsive system.
I think for the second question, they manually did it for each uh, dimension, right?
Okay, I think that you do not have answers for these two questions. Now you tell me, like, which one I want to start
Oh,
doing an
the
explain on it.
first one.
First one. Okay, let's get started then. Okay, now I have a non-responsive website now,
Mm.
and we saw that how to make the non-responsive to respond. The same article only it gives for us, but really just this article is enough for me to make that responsive, sorry, non-responsive to responsive that much quickly, because if you see that there are a lot of CSS code, you also written the lot of CSS code in our in our template, whatever the template that you are making, right? You written
Mm-hmm.
a lot of CSS, right? And
Yeah.
your task has completed only this much area.
Yeah.
I'm not actually saying that, I'm not actually complaining, but what I'm trying to say here is you have to complete lot of them, right? And
Mm-hmm.
just imagine how much length the code will be if you want to
Very long.
if you want to focus on that end. Yeah. So now the point is the entire CSS, whatever the properties or whatever the classes that you have written, and when you make I mean, when you want to decide it to make that non-responsive to response. So first, just confirm me one thing. Whatever you have written so far, that is 100% non-responsive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever the task that you are doing is, that is
Yes.
100% non-responsive, right? Because you do not have any media queries under as per so far discussion that we have,
Yeah.
right? So let's imagine you have written 1,000 lines of code. So far, I believe that the code has been nearly 100 lines completed, if I'm not wrong.
200, 280.
Oh, 200. Oh my God, you were writing what you are writing? You are writing CSS properties, or you are including both HTML and CSS in CSS page only?
No,
Okay.
separately.
separately, but still is 200, 200, no? So,
Yeah.
okay, I mean, in our reference, this one also we completed 200 so far.
Yeah.
I mean, we have almost completed, right, within the 255.
Mhm.
Okay, I mean, the point is maybe you just focus on that, the properties, whether they are those properties, whatever you written, those are really necessary or not,
Mm.
right? When you see that much of count, okay, so you have to
Mhm.
make sure to check that, in inspect element mode only, you have to check whether the property is really necessary or not. When you are check and uncheck, you will get it that, right? In the
Yeah.
inspect mode. So just remove them for unnecessary ones. Okay, that's a different
Okay.
story together, but let's come back to the same point. So
Mhm.
you only said that you have completed like a 200 lines. So to complete that entire layout, just assume that how many numbers, I mean how many lines of code you are going to write. Maybe 1500 or 2000
Yeah.
approximately to
2000.
complete that entire layout. 2000 into 10x, right?
Mhm.
Whatever you have written so far. Now you can tell me, so that for a non-responsive, you made a 2000 lines of code, and to make a responsive, each and every part should be adjusted to the mobile or tab devices. How many media queries that you have to write, and each and every media query, how repetitively code you need to write the class names and properties and modifying the values and all. Do you think it is
Yes.
a very easy task to make?
No.
No, right?
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Mhm.
Not just for you, for anybody, whoever is making the non-responsive response, definitely it takes time for them. It is possible thing, for sure it is possible, but it is not easiest thing. We cannot complete within time frame. And even though if you did within the time frame, the point is we need to do lot of testing, in lot of devices,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And the other problem with the CSS is, if I don't remember whether I told you this point, browser compatibility. We need to check that, whether everything is working in all the devices in the same time, all the browsers, all the updated
Mhm.
browsers of versions,
Mm.
right? So in such a bad situation to a developer to make non-responsive to response, we need some helping hand here, definitely, right? So
Yeah.
the how the helping hand should be, whatever the websites that whatever the code that we have written, instead of first making non-responsive and converting again to responsive, it is very difficult. We can only start directly responsive instead of making that.
Mm.
You're getting my point? Whatever we are
Yeah.
starting, by that time itself, why don't we write a directly responsive code if you have some helping hand? Yeah,
Mhm. But won't
so
it still be
in
long?
order, sorry,
Won't it still be long?
I didn't hear that. Can you repeat that?
Won't the code still be too long?
Yeah, I mean, it is long, but imagine when somebody comes to you and, hey, Darshana, I'll complete entire your work. You just to be there, and do just small things only. How you will feel? You will feel really, stressless, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in the same way, when we are making from, making non-responsive to response, or do all these checks and all, right? When there is a framework for us, okay, which really help us to make a responsive by default, what we just need to follow their instructions blindly, because they are well aware of the responsive system, and they have verified all the devices, and they proved that it is 100% responsive, and they verified in all the devices it is working in all the devices. And when a system comes to us, you just need to follow my instructions, so your website will become a responsive. Then it
Mm.
is very easiest thing, right, for us.
Yeah.
So to make this entire process in the market, almost 10, 15 years ago, almost not 15, probably 10, 12 years back itself, there are a few frameworks which came into market, make our job is easy.
Mm.
Okay, so responsive website, to make that responsive website, we don't need to write everything from the scratch. Okay,
Mm.
frameworks will give some sort of instructions to make responsive website or to build responsive website directly, and we no really no need to worry that whether this website or this framework, if I use this or if I consume this framework, whether my website will be really fit to the mobile device or tablet device or larger screens. We really no need to worry about it. At the same time, we
Mm.
really no need to worry about that. Is my website is really fit to the Chrome browser or Firefox browser or Internet Explorer browser? We really no need to do, because the framework itself is certified that in responsive and mobile, sorry, responsive and browser compatibility. We just need to follow their instructions. So few of the
Mm.
frameworks came into the market almost a decade ago, but majority of them has dropped in between in middle, but there is only one framework which came along with developers, and the community also has been increased, that is called Bootstrap. This much introduction I never gave to anything. Okay, build fast responsive site with Bootstrap. So Bootstrap is the one of the responsive website framework. Of course, this is also part of our course curriculum.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there are other frameworks as well, but still Bootstrap has a very decent community, and majority of the websites are still building with the Bootstrap.
Mm.
Okay, now if you see this CSS frameworks, see what are the frameworks that we got so far? Bootstrap, Materialize, UI Kit, Bulma, Semantic UI, Milligram, Foundation, Tailwind, Pure.
Mm. I've only
Nine
heard of
more.
Bootstrap.
What are sorry? Saying
I've
something?
only heard I've only heard of Bootstrap.
You heard already?
Like I know
Or
the
no?
name. Yeah.
Okay, you know the name. Okay, okay, fine, fine. Okay, so now if you see that there is still Bootstrap is really in good place.
Mm-hmm.
And after Bootstrap, right now, the market is slightly running only for a few scenarios, slightly running behind this Tailwind.
Mm.
Okay, but when comparatively Bootstrap, this is like the process and all will be bit different Tailwind. But if you learn any one of the framework, you can learn any other frameworks as well, because this is not a language. All these frameworks, I mean, not just in the CSS, we have a JavaScript frameworks as well, like whatever the frameworks I'm talking, like frameworks or libraries, right? So
Mm.
Angular, React, these are all something in language. Those are building based on the languages, right? In such a case, all these are built on CSS and JavaScript. So we don't need to learn again as a new language. This is just a framework. Okay, in easiest way to understand, to explain to you, this is something like ready-made clothes, ready-made
Mm.
dress. Okay.
Mm. Yeah.
Okay, so you no need to do like all the stitching and all from the starting point of. No, you no need to buy the class. You no need to go to the tailor and then give the measurements. And you don't need to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even though if Tyler gave that class back to us, we need to verify that whether the fitting is fine or not, right?
Yeah.
In the same way, when you build a responsive website from the scratch, the same kind of thing will come for you. If something goes wrong, again we have to go back and we have to change it. But when
Mm-hmm.
you really comfortable with the ready-made and all, you straight away go to that the showroom, and you can wear and you can check whether how good or bad fit it is. and you can purchase it, right?
Yeah.
But if you observe, what is the, I mean, actual material is going to completely different, and what we are giving to trader and what we are purchasing in the ready-made store. No, right? End of the day, it is a cloth only,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
In the same way, in Bootstrap also, end of the day, they are going to use behind the screens, behind the screen, they are using completely CSS only. But
Mm.
they made that in a specific, what we call that, uh, a specific system to make or to build responsive websites.
Mm.
Okay,
Is
so
it like a
anyhow,
temp?
like we are going template. Uh, no, I'm not actually going to say that template, because what is the difference between template and framework? I'll tell you. Template is purely for a ready-made thing, what I told you. Okay,
Mm.
but even though if you purchase ready-made, how Bootstrap it is. Okay, when you when you make, okay, we'll give you an example, generic example, the same way ready-made and cloths. Okay, what exactly
Mm-hmm.
the difference between template and Bootstrap? Let us say that when you take example of template here. Okay, you
Mm-hmm.
cannot change the actual behavior of the template. However, the template is there, you just need to use it. The customization is very difficult when you pick a template.
Yeah.
Even though sometimes you can make customization, but sometimes you cannot make customization.
It's limited. Yeah.
It's limited.
Mm.
And when you have a no limitation also, it is not easy task to customize that. It will be a very difficult task.
Mm-hmm.
But when we have a framework, you can customize it.
Mm.
It is not a difficult than no template customization.
Okay.
So everything is there. Okay, you
Mm-hmm.
just need to change the logos and colors is the template. But when you have a framework, you can customize the layout. You can customize that whatever you want to build. You can customize it in your own way, and still it supports the responsive. That is the beauty of that framework.
Mm.
You're getting my point?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So now we have what is the current version is 5.3. I started Bootstrap with the version 2, 2.2 or something. I don't remember, 2.2
Or,
or something.
mm.
Yeah, somewhere around this. Yeah. So no, not this. This is, I think, point to, let us see that all the versions you will get. Yeah, I didn't work on 1.x for sure, but I have worked on this, all these
Mm.
versions. Then I learned 3.x. Then I focus on 4. Then 5.
Mm. You don't need to know
Okay.
then. Oh.
No, you don't need to learn. But see, the point is when there is a upgradation. So
Mm-hmm.
the OS is upgraded iOS 16 to 17. This is a complete
Yeah.
change, or like few features gonna be added, right? So rest
Yeah.
everything will be like the same. Like you can answer the call with the green button, and you can cut the call with the red button, right?
Mm. Yeah.
Not vice versa, right?
Mm-hmm.
When, yeah,
Yeah.
it's the same way. Like how that operating systems and all, gives that an updated version. In the same way, all the softwares and frameworks will do the same way, the updation as well. But very rarest cases only, when there is an upgradation happened, the entire thing is going to change. That was
Mm.
happened with the Angular JavaScript framework. There is a complete rewritten from 1.x to 2 version.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but it is completely out of our subject, but I'm just telling you as a reference. So that is very rarest thing going to happen. In
Okay.
general cases, all the frameworks or libraries or updated versions will give you more features, and that how Apple is really focusing on that security issues and user experience issues, right? In the same way, also they will give you, the best options to optimize the code, and performance wise they will give some suggestions on it. At the same time, security related stuff itself, they can add more features on it.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you think we can continue, or like we can stop here?
Uh, Up to you. Anything's fine.
No, no. See, the point is, you should take on entire knowledge, right, and entire information, right? So that is the
Yeah.
reason I'm asking.
No, I'm still focused, so we can keep
Okay,
going.
fine, fine. In
Maybe
that case,
30
fine.
more minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, that is fine. Okay, so
Mm.
I hope you understand that this media and all,
Mm. Yeah,
and
I
of
get
course we didn't just only cover on the media, so we covered like how really it works in real time and all,
it. Yeah.
and the bootstrap framework and all, and yeah, still we are left with the second question, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you really want to know the answer for it?
Uh, a quick answer? Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Is it?
Okay, now I understand how much focus you are.
Yeah. No, I just don't want to take up too much time.
Okay, okay, yeah, because yeah, first point is really required for us compared to the second point. Because
Mm-hmm.
when I start the first point, right, when I have explained, I got a chance to explain all the bootstrap and all and everything, right, and how really
Yeah.
the frameworks and all working. Okay, when it comes to the second question, how people used to manage when there is a responsive. Okay, so they have a different codes. For mobile, they are going to maintain a one code setup.
Yeah.
For desktop, they are going to maintain a one code setup.
Yeah, I think that's what I said, right?
Okay, but
Yeah.
how when they open the website in their mobile, right? The
Mm-hmm.
URL will be same. Let us say if you say see this auth.usertesting.com, the same URL only they will open in their device, right?
Mm-hmm.
And whatever the code they have been hosted for desktop, the same code only will come to the mobile also. But how still that application is going to fit when they have a same code? That is the
Mm,
point here. Okay, so the point is when they open some auth.usertestings.com, right, when they open in their mobile, so the device, whatever the programming language that they are using, maybe it is JavaScript or maybe it is something else, so the code itself detects the device first, whether it is a desktop device, whether it is a mobile device. When it detects that it is a mobile device, it is going to change the URL some auth.usertesting.com to m.auth.usertesting.com. So M
mm,
stands for the mobile. So now if you see m.auth.usertesting.com, they are going to serve that mobile related code, mobile related HTML and CSS code. When they open in their mobile, when they open in the desktop device, even though if they make URL change as M also, still they can able to see a mobile device code only, because as long as they are serving code based on this domain name. Okay,
mm.
when there is no M, it is a by default one. It is the
Okay.
desktop code. So they have a two or three code bases. Max to max, they will maintain like a two. One is for a desktop, one is for a mobile. But when responsive came into the picture, we do not we don't need it like a two setups of code base. We are going to handle only one code base, and we are really handling that using with media queries.
Mm.
Clear?
Yeah.
Okay. One second.
Mm-hmm.
One second. One second. I'm getting a message. Don't know what is this below points, below the points which need to take care. What she is talking here, I don't understand. Oh my god. Okay, okay. So this is how we used to handle with the two code bases and single code base, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So when we are talking about that, few CSS properties that we are left. Okay. Um, so far, whatever the properties that we have covered, those are CSS version 2, CSS 2 version.
Mm.
Okay, whatever now I'm going to tell is CSS 3 version. Okay, the
Okay.
same thing. When the upgradation, in the version upgradation, obviously new features going to add. So if
Mm.
you just Google it, CSS 3 new features. There are a lot of things coming to the picture.
Is this new or
Sorry?
is this new CSS3? Like recent?
No, no, CSS 3, no, CSS 3 came very long back.
Okay.
Yeah, very long back. But when compared with the CSS 2, right, there are a lot of features that they have been added.
Mm.
Maybe now you can check this. But we have covered few of them already in CSS 3. We have already covered.
Mm.
Okay. And if you observe this diagram, what are the CSS 3 things? Flex box. We
What's
covered flex,
next?
right, already.
Mm.
Display
Yeah.
flex and
Mm-hmm.
rounded corners. We covered, right?
Yep.
Media queries. We do not have any practical, but the theoretical part was already done in this same session only, right?
Yeah.
Media queries and
Mm-hmm.
multi-column layout. It also comes that making that flex and grid also. Just make a note of that. We have to work on. We have to more focus on that. The layout system. This is the one, and we already covered that selectors. That as long as you go anywhere, like end of the day, you can handle that within the 30 selectors only.
Mm.
Okay, that's 30 selector. Don't forget that. Okay,
Okay.
and 2D and 3D transformations. Very very important thing, which is the best feature in CSS 3, of course. And when it comes to gradient and shadow effect, we already covered that shadow effect like text shadow and box shadow, but we are
Yeah.
still yet to be covered that gradients. Compatibility is a which very interesting point. Compatibility in the sense mainly for CSS 3 properties. Okay, the properties has a problem that it is not going to support all the browsers. So to support the browsers, we need to do some magic on it. We'll
Mm.
cover that point. Okay, and of course overwrapping, font flexibility, setting opacity point we discussed, and we have a lot of thing. Yeah, transitions and animations. We can make animations using with CSS. Okay, so
Mm.
far before the animations came into CSS 3, we used to animate things in web application using with JavaScript only.
Mm-hmm.
Now with CSS 3 animations, we can make small animation. We can even give that small animation effects. So far, this is the only thing when it comes to CSS 3, and in the same way, how CSS 3 is there, I mean, it has been upgraded from CSS 2. In the same way, we have upgradation in HTML as well. Earlier it was 4, and new version is 5 only. I'm telling that it's a new version, but it also came into the market almost 10, 13 years back only.
Mm.
Maybe I can say like approximately 10 to 15 years back. But there is no
Yeah.
upgradation after that. There is no HTML6, and even in
Got it.
CSS also. But if I'm not wrong, there is no CSS 4, I guess. CSS 4. speed up the load time for different devices, simplify CSS nested coding using that, but there is no technical thing happened for CSS4. I
Mm-hmm.
see it is a media query on the end of the day,
Mm.
but what exactly it is giving, even I'm not sure. I didn't focus on it. Looks like properties are same here, but there is some thing happened. But yeah, let me even I need to look this. Yeah, I will check that, is there any really important things which people, which developers are really using it? This
Mm-hmm.
transform, of course, this transform comes in that 2D, this we discussed, right?
Yeah.
2D and 3D transformations. That is same only. And display property, background property and background image, color property, right?
Yeah.
But I'll find that, is it really CSS4 is officially announced and any new properties been added to it or not? Okay, so in the same way, how we discussed that, CSS2 and 3, in the same way, we have a HTML5 as well. HTML5. Yep, there are a lot of stuff here when it comes to HTML4 and 5. But how really, it is important for us is not all of them, but few of them we definitely need it. And
Mm-hmm.
some of them are we can straight away write without any support of other language, but some of them are really works with JavaScript support. Let us say that semantic elements. So semantic elements is nothing but few elements been added into the HTML5, and so far we know when you want to build a paragraph, what is the element you will choose in HTML? If you want to if you want to create a paragraph, what element you will choose?
P.
P, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let us say if you want to build some header, right? How you used to do in general, like div class is equal to, we can write, we can define one class name here called header,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
That we already did it in our example, right? In the
Mm-hmm.
same way, we have like, footer, and if you have some sort of navigation, div class is equal to, we can make that, nav or navigation, something like that,
Mm.
right? But in
Yeah.
HTML5, we have a new elements called header,
Yeah. I saw.
footer. I hope that you already seen somewhere
Yeah, I
this.
saw. I saw header and nav. I used
Yeah,
nav.
and a side, mm, main, I think so, or I'm not sure for about main. Yeah,
Yeah, I used
few of
min
them are
too. I
main
think I
too.
used
Yeah,
min
okay,
for
maybe.
the.
Yeah, still I'm not sure, but yeah. Okay, so these are the new elements being added. So we call them as a semantic elements. Why we are calling this as a semantic elements? Why not this?
Mm.
Because when you explain to somebody, okay, maybe there is a 10th standard guy. If
Mm-hmm.
you tell him something like, hey, what is meant by div? Do you think that guy will respond anything to you? If you say something to him like, hey, what is the meaning of div?
No.
But in the same way, if you ask him, hey, what is the meaning of header?
They would
Definitely he will
know.
say something that, okay, header is something related to head.
Yeah.
Footer is something related to his foot, right?
Yeah.
So the name itself, like, we understand that we are giving, we are creating header, footer, and all. How a 10th standard guy understands that, header, footer, in the same way, browser also understands very quickly, if you write a div class is equal to header, instead of that, if you write a straight away header, browser understands immediately and it will quickly process that compared to this. So
Yeah.
as long as you write and browser understands that, what is the advantage of it, advantage of it. So when the browser understands the element quickly and when the browser executes it
The
very
loading
quickly,
is
obviously that entire, sorry,
the loading would be faster.
yes,
Okay.
yeah, the loading will be faster, obviously. So in the same way, we have a lot of semantic elements that you can check in the internet, like whatever the semantic elements and all. If you see, okay, maybe say they also gave same kind of
Yeah.
example here. Div ID equal to header, and we have a section also. We have an
Mm.
article also. We have a essay and we have a footer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now you can understand this. And there are a lot of reasons why you should write semantic tags instead of normal HTML tags to leverage SEO. This is the first thing, first uh, uh, important point that we have to understand. To leverage SEO, now you should know it. What is meaning of the SEO. Do you have any idea?
Nope.
Search engine optimization.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've heard it.
Search engine optimization. So
Mm-hmm.
what is meant by search engine optimization, right? Whenever you find something in the Google, there are a
It
lot
gives you
of
the
websites, but you can see, yeah. So it will give, I mean, the Google will give you a preference only for few of them, and
mm-hmm.
what are the few of them that you receive, right? Definitely, those are had a good code and all, and it is good in the SEO, search engine optimization.
Mm.
When you add all the semantic elements, right? When you browser understands that very quickly, and whatever the content has been written in this header and all, right? All the contents that when uh, uh, when you add that Google Analytics and all, right? That Google search engine will take the code immediately. Why? Because the elements will load very quick.
Yeah.
And accessibility. So accessibility is a different subject. I'll tell you in some time. And browser
Mm-hmm.
compatibility. We discussed it, right? Browser compatibility one point.
For
What is the meaning of
accessibility,
browser compat?
there's like alternate text. Is that what? So like if you click on the image, it says what
No,
it
not
is.
exactly. Not
Okay.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. In other words, you said right. But there is other subject as well, like apart from that accessibility, usability also is there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll cover that point. Yeah, in some way, like what you said is right, accessibility
Okay.
and all. Yeah,
Mhm.
and of course the browser compatibility we discussed it, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when there are a lot of features that we have. So that is the reason that we mostly majority of the cases people are interested to use that semantic elements only.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and audio and video support. Before this HTML5, when you want to insert a audio or video into your website, it is a big challenge, because I was the witness for you in the initial days. Like I'm telling that in the year of 2009 when I joined into this career, there
Mm-hmm.
was no requirements from the client. I want to play some video into my website,
Mm.
and that time there is no much aware of that putting a YouTube video into our websites. So we
Mm.
have to put some video of the client. They will give some format like that MP4 or VLC, whatever the format that they will provide, right? They will simply give that format to us, and our job is to put that video into the website. It was a very difficult task for us, because we definitely need a JavaScript support to play a video or audio into the mobile, sorry, in that website.
Okay.
Okay, but when actually HTML5 came into the picture, we no need to all of the JavaScript and support. Straight away in the HTML5 itself, we have a element of like this. We can write like this: audio, You can check, in the internet reference for it, and in the W3 schools you can check that, right?
Mhm.
HTML5 audio and video tutorials point, yeah, W3 schools also you can check. See, there is a straight away element. Of course, this is also a semantic only. When you are addressing audio, browser understands very clearly, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, and when you click on this, right, you will get this. By default you will get this, and when you click on this, there is some sound. Okay, and in the same way we have video also.
Mm.
Okay, and if you really see the code, how they have implemented is this much only. The video element,
Yeah.
again, it is a semantic element, and you just need to pass the source of the video. It's very
Mhm.
easiest thing. Okay, but before this, right, it was very difficult to put a video or audio into the website is very difficult task.
Mm.
Okay,
Okay.
I think we can cover rest of the points tomorrow. So for
Okay.
what we completed today is like we covered like semantic elements, how it is, just an introduction part,
Mhm.
and CSS3 media queries, how we
Yep.
need to write at minimum and maximum, how in general we handles that, with the same code base, how to make non-responsive to response, and what are the things we need to follow, how CSS framework like a bootstrap really works and helps us to build a responsive website. I think more
Mhm.
are instead of practical knowledge, more are theoretical knowledge we verified today, right?
Yeah.
But whatever the media queries that we discussed in the class, right? So the same thing will verify, we'll test together in tomorrow session.
Okay.
But before that, we need to complete this, this HTML5 features, and of course there are few features of CSS3 as well, right? Yeah, we
Mm.
focus one. I'll explain like one by one.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
I
Yeah.
hope like you understand some, that even though I explain like that more theoretical, you
Mm.
understand that actual subject.
Yeah, I do. It made sense.
Okay,
Is
fine.
is
Yeah.
my pacing okay? Like, are we going too slow right now, or
I mean, do you think that we're going to too slow, or we're going
no?
to, or do you
No,
think
I'm
like
just worried.
we need?
Like,
No.
am I catching it fast enough?
Yeah, I mean, it is purely depend on you only. From your point of view, maybe I can tell like if you complete the task, the websites and all, right?
Mhm.
uh, in terms of that point of, I can say okay, you are in the right track, but that actual answer you should only, you should only tell to me like how you're how it is really when you are making that websites, right? The practice
Uh-huh.
task, it's okay. The only thing that you should check with yourself, like before these sessions and after these sessions, and day by day the sessions is increasing, like how you're really accessing the websites and how you are checking that websites, right?
Yeah.
Your thought process should change. The way of seeing the websites or web application, there should be some
Mhm.
difference, right? How
Yeah.
it is really, you can see the difference and all. You only have to tell me. But when it
Okay.
comes to the subject wise, if you tell me like we are in it, I mean, if I'm my explanation, right? Whatever the topics that I'm explaining, am I explaining very speed, or am I explaining slow, or am I explaining in the correct level? I mean,
It's
based on
correct.
your feedback also, I can modify myself, because my
Mm.
end target is, I want to give a confidence to you, you can only build the websites in your own way,
Mhm.
and you don't feel like fear or something blank that if you see any website, okay, how they made that, and I don't understand anything after a session
Yeah.
of month or so far, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, so you should check yourself, or you can discuss with your friends better. Okay, you can discuss with friends or whoever is having the knowledge of web, or whoever is doing, this at least UX things, right? You can explain them. like okay, this is how we need to take the layout, or this is the properties that now we have, and this is how the actual responsive and before without responsive and with responsive, and what is the bootstrap or any kind of CSS framework. So I explained one more thing that when we really need to check the responsive things in the mobile, I mean for mobile devices with in it will come for you for your website also, in our local also it will come. Of
Mm.
course, this website we didn't made it a responsive, right? It is a non-responsive only.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you check this layouts, right? So when you click on this responsive, you will get all the devices also here. Like if you want to see your website, how it will now visible in the iPad, you can
Mm.
this is the percentage of the width. You can increase that percentage. This is the 100%, which is the maximum when you make your iPad in a portrait mode. If you want
Mm.
to see a same website in the landscape mode, you can just click on this. Now you can able to see a landscape mode.
Okay.
The same way you can test your website also,
Got it.
and you can select the devices.
Mm.
Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
you should see a like growth in yourself, Darshana. I mean
Yeah.
that is when you feel that, right, then yeah,
Mm-hmm.
then you are on the
I
right
did.
track only.
Yeah, I did feel recently like working on
Okay,
this website.
yeah, yeah. Hmm.
Like I didn't run into any issues until the new stuff came up.
Yeah, yeah. So, apart from that, right, when the issue, when you find something new, right, the way how I am actually finding the topics in the Google, right, the same way
Yeah.
also you have to, because we it will very difficult for us to cover all of the all the topics, right. This subject is very vast, and we cannot cover all of them for sure. Some
Mm-hmm.
of them are really no useful in the real time, and some of them are not. So,
Mm.
I mean, I definitely focus on the points which are really useful in the real time. Definitely, I'll ignore some of them which are not part of the, real time work scenario, right?
Mm-hmm.
But still, what I suggest, whenever you see that, no, you don't feel that bad or no, okay, worry about it. Okay, what is this? And we didn't cover that topic. So you can Google it and try to understand that.
Mm.
Then only you can able to learn whether how much really it has an importance to use in the real time applications,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay then,
Okay.
chalo.
Yeah. Okay. Thank
Yeah,
you.
so we can cover, I mean we can connect tomorrow, but probably day after tomorrow I won't be available.
Gotcha.
11th. Okay.
Got it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably we can spend much time tomorrow, and of course Friday as well. If not,
Mm.
if something is pending, this time I will take a session on probably if possible Saturday also, if you're okay.
Okay. I'll see.
Okay, that we can take a call on Friday.
Yeah.
Okay,
All
chalo
right.
then.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Bye.